All hearts and minds clear. Well, hell yeah. Total Baba for another beautiful Shabbat day. Total Baba for keeping us alive. You are merciful Elohim. Please forgive us for our sins, our transgressions, and our iniquity. And please forgive the sins, the transgressions, and iniquity of our ancestors. Total Baba for the correction, Abiyah, that you have blessed us with in this life. Total Baba for your love and your mercy, and your kindness. Total Baba for your set apart word, your Torah. Total Baba for the gift of life. And I ask that you may put joy in our heart on this day, so that we may praise you, give testimony, so that we may hear the word. And I ask that your word will be well with us. And I ask that we would not just be hearers of your word, but ask that we will be doers also. And I ask that you may give us the strength to push forward in this life. And I ask that we would not get caught up in the traps, the snares of this life. For the things of this world will soon pass away, but your word endures for and ever and ever. And I ask that we will all have a desire to dwell with you, to see your face. And I ask that we would not covet or desire the things of this world, the things that are contrary to your word. And I ask that we will not set our hearts to live a destructive lifestyle, but I ask that you may teach us daily how to choose life, how to choose wisdom, how to choose what is true, what is honorable, what is right, what is just, what is perfect. And I ask that you may bless us with your set apart spirit, your Ruach HaKodesh. And I ask that it may be well with us always. And I ask that you will not take your Ruach HaKodesh from us, but I ask that you may give us the strength to repent for the wrong that we have done. I ask that we would not let our blessings turn into a curse, but I ask that you may give us the strength to do all things in order. So always put you first. And I ask that you remember those who are sick and afflicted in the flesh, and I ask that in due season they may be healed. I ask that you remember those who may be homeless, those who may be in prison, and I ask that you remember the fatherless and the widow, all those who need help, all those who are afflicted in any way or form. And I ask that you remember your people and all those who are striving to keep your Torah, keep your word, to obey you. And I ask that you may give us the strength to endure to the end as we seek your face, as we seek eternal life. And I ask that you may hear this tefillah, this prayer, if it be your will, that your will be done. Bless you are Yahweh. Blessed is your name, Yahweh, and bless he that comes in the name of Yahweh. May in the main so.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen, wa amen. Toda Rabah Adon for that strong prayer. A lot of the petitions you just asked for, we're going to cover some of them today in the lesson. So hallelujah, Toda for the tefillah. Shabbat shalom, Mishpachah. Shabbat shalom. All praise, honor, and esteem to the Most High Yah for bringing us through another week, allowing us to come before him and give him all the praise, the honor, and esteem. Hallelujah, hallelujah. This is the cultural portion, and just a heads up, it's going to change up just a little bit. We're still going to go into the discussions like we have been doing, going into the lessons like we have been doing. And of course, our next discussion is going to be in the on the lines of customs and traditions. And so we're going to kind of go back to a true light by Yah custom, a true light by Yah custom during the culture and the language portion, where the Hebrew language students will read in our native tongue, in our Hebrew language, the language of our ancestors. And so this Shabbat, I want to kind of go over a couple of the definitions before we discuss the customs and traditions, both of old and present day. Things in this generation that we do customarily or have adopted from another culture. And the same thing with how we observe things traditionally, things that we do as a custom, as a tradition, right? But today on this Shabbat, not so much a discussion, but more of a laying down the foundation of where we're going to go during these discussions. All right. So first, I want to give a definition of custom. And I got this from Britannica Online, the Britannica Dictionary Online. And it says that the custom is the actions or way of behaving that is usual or traditional among a particular people group. And some of their examples are tribal, local, and ancestral. And then I forgot to write down the source where I got this definition from, but it's online. I think it's from it says customs, culture. Anyway, I can't remember the source where I got it from, but it's pretty telling. And it says the term custom refers to a commonly recognized customary manner of acting or doing something that is peculiar to a certain culture. Every civilization, and they got church and group, has its own set of customs and traditions. In every culture, customs are an integral part of life. As previously said, customs may serve as a reflection of a culture. And then it says, consider the case of the Chinese wedding ceremony, for instance. There are some rituals and traditions that are practiced that are specific to the area or the culture. And then it goes on to say, when a certain gesture or action or event or act is repeated over and over again, it is referred to as custom. Let me read that again. When a certain gesture, action, event, or act is repeated over and over again, it is referred to as a custom. When something is followed for a long period of time and then passed down to newer generations, it is said to be a tradition. The things that are observed over time and then passed down to the next generation is considered a tradition. And basically, they both are the same. Customs and traditions typically are interchangeable, but just so we know that the difference between custom and tradition. And then over a period of time, such as a few generations, both custom and tradition are often perceived as law, or have the same respect as law, even when the origin of the custom or the tradition is lost. So in other words, like a lot of us here in America, I'll put it this way, the heathen customs that we've adopted or that we practice or observe, a lot of us have no idea where it originated from. It's just done year after year after year, repeatedly, over and over again, generation from generation to generation. And it often becomes as enforceable as law. It often becomes enforceable as law, these customs and traditions. So keeping all these definitions in mind, let's go to Yaiqab, Leviticus 23. Let's start with some of the customs that the Most High gave us. Let me share screen real quick because now Talmudine Bree, the language students, I want y'all to, somebody to volunteer and read verses 1 and 2. We're in Yaiqab or Leviticus chapter 23. And one of the students read verses 1 and 2, please. I'll put it up in the Hebrew. Can y'all see that?
Zaqan.
All right, do I have a volunteer? I got my screen shared here.
I'll read one.
Toda Rabah, Koti.
Okay. Wahid Bar, Yahweh, El Moshe, La More.
All right. You want to do verse 2?
Okay. Let's see. There's something covering it.
Can you see it now?
Okay, yeah. Asher Tekro, O Mas. I'm sorry, Otas.
You're at verse 2?
Mikra. That's verse 2. Oh, yeah, I'm reading down to the bottom. Okay. Davar Al Bani Hish Rahel We Amar Ta Halahas. I'm sorry. Haleham Mo
Right.
Mo Edin Yahuwah Asher Tekraho O Tam Mikrahi Podesh
There you go.
Elah Tam Mo Hadeh.
Hallelujah. Toda Rabah for the reading. All right, so it says in verse 1, it says, and Yah spake unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feasts, Moedim, appointed times, right, of Yah, which ye shall proclaim, right? And that proclaim there is quara, quara, to make a public announcement, right? To proclaim it publicly, to declare it publicly, to be a set apart convocation. Even these are my Moedim, my feast. In other words, the Most High is saying, Moshe, I want you to go down and speak to the children of Israel, and let them know that these are the customs that I want them to observe and practice. I want you to have them proclaim it publicly. And we know that holy convocation is Quadash Mikra, which includes a rehearsal, a practice. It says, even these are my feasts. And we understand why the Most High established these customs for Yisrael. So we won't forget who we are, and more importantly, who our Elohim is. And like I said, a lot of times in these heathen customs, and when I say heathen, I just mean the other nations. These other nations' customs, a lot of even the other nations have no idea why they observe and keep these customs and traditions. But as we see in Shemot chapter 12, and then when we see it proclaimed in Leviticus or Yaiqab 23, we understand why. The Most High heard our voice and delivered us from the oppression of our enemies. And he wants us to remember that, and not just the deliverance, but who delivered them. So that's not a vain observance. That's not a vain custom. We know why we do these things. And the same with the other customs, the other Moedim. And when we keep reading in the chapter, we see and understand that these customs are forever, generation after generation after generation. And not only that, but the Most High tells us over and over that the keeping, the honoring of Shabbat, which is a Moedim, which is a custom of ours that the Most High gave us, a commanded custom, is a sign between him and us. And we'll get into a little bit more about the sign between him and us. But the point being that it's not vain. It's not just something we do. It's for a purpose. And if you remember, the Most High told us not to learn the ways of the other nations. And then I think it's in Jeremiah 2 where he says that those ways, those customs and traditions of the other nations are vain. They really don't serve a purpose, and really they don't serve a purpose for Yisrael. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Devarim or Deuteronomy. And I'm not going to be long, Mishpachah, just laying down the foundation. Let's go to Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 6. Let me pull it up. I'm going to go to verse 20. All right, can I get another Talmudina Breed to read verse 20?
Can I read?
Okay.
Okay. All right. The mouse is in the way. I can't see. Okay. Ki yis. Okay, wait. Ki yish aleka benka machar le amor ma haedot vehakukim vehamishpatim asher zivua Yehovah Eloheinu etkem.
All right. And it reads, and when thy sons asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Yah our Elohim hath commanded you? You want to read verse 21 too, Baba Kasha?
Cain.
Please.
Cain. Okay. The Amarta Levinka Avadim Hayinu Lefarot Lefarot
Okay.
Bemitzrayim Vayovuzienu Yehoah Mimitzrayim Yim Beyad Kazaka.
Hallelujah. Toda Rabah, Toda. Good reading, good reading. All right, and it reads, then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen, slaves in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, and Yah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand, Now let's jump down to verse 24. Can we get another reader? I can't see who's online, but either Akoti Talia or Bati Batsian, one of y'all could read it too.
Okay. Okay. Wahi eno, wahi ha no, Wahi Honu.
All right.
Okay, Wahi Zenu.
There you go.
Yahuwah La Hashot Et Kal Hakohim Ha Allah Ahale Ahele Le Le Ish Lehir Lehir Hat Et Lehir Ha Et
There we go. There you go.
Yahweh Yahweh Elohei Nu Letov La Nu Letov. That's it, right? Letov.
Okay.
Okay. Lanu Kal Ha Yamim Kal Ha Yamim Lata La Ha Hotenu Ki Ha Yom Ha Za Azo Azay.
Okay. Toda Rabah. Toda Rabah. And then 25. Don't knock out. You want to read? I know you gotta read a little bit later, so I'll skip you.
Speaker Zaqan, Akute Rose says she'll read next. She put it in.
Okay. Toda Rabah. 25, Baba Shah, please.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. Uts da ka. Bihi ye lanu ki nishmor la sot et kal hamitzvah hatzot lifnei Yahawah Eloheinu ka'asher sivanu.
Okay. Khan. We'll go with that. Hallelujah. Toda Rabah. Toda Rabah, Koti. Good reading. All right. And so 24 says, and Yah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yah, our Elohim, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yah, our Elohim, as he hath commanded us. And this is what we're passing down to our sons who ask us why we do these things, why we observe and keep and cherish these customs. Speak up. We keep and do for our good and the good of our seed, our children. And then so that we and our seed may be preserved alive. And this is the sentiment, this is the conviction, this is the emotion that we have for our customs that we pass down to the next generation. And if we can truly understand the value of this lifestyle the Most High gave us and embrace these customs and traditions, then we'll want to pass them down to our next generation. We want to pass it down to our seed for their good, so they can be preserved also. And more critically important is that we won't kindle a fire in the Most High's anger. And then for us today, when we embrace these customs and these traditions, Torah in totality, once we embrace that, we come back to how valuable it is to us, then we come back into the favor and the love of our Father. Right? We were cut off from that custom due to our ancestors before us. And then some of it is our rebellion also. But now, if we return back to that, if we cherish, if we keep and do these customs, that Moshe is telling us that we need to pass this down to our sons and our daughters when they ask us why we do these things. You know, not like the other nations where, why do we do this? Oh, because I love you. And really we don't have an answer. You know, I'm talking about these other heathen customs that we keep. You know, if we really, most of us, if we're asked why we do some of those customs of the other nation, we have no idea. We really don't know. We really don't know. And so that's where we're going to get into these customs and these traditions that we do that really make the Most High proud of us, keeps us in covenant, keeps us connected to our Elohim. And then also some of the customs and traditions, not only of our forefathers, but as we're doing in this time too, that really separates us from the Most High, that really keeps us in captivity. All right, we're gonna go one more place and then I'll close the culture portion. Let's go to Devarim or Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And I'll give y'all readers a break. Let's go to Deuteronomy, Devarim 28. All right, we're going to start right at the top. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yah thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim. Just like a loving father, the Most High wants the best for his children, us. He wants the best for us. And just like a loving father, he wants to be able to show us off. I mean, we're proud to say, this is my son, or this is my daughter, when they're doing well, when they're representing our name, when they're representing our name. We're proud to show them off. And that's what the Most High wants from his children. He wants to be able to show us off. That will spark the envy of the other nations. And not just the other nations, but for our brothers and sisters too, that are still walking in the darkness. Full of zeal. Full of zeal, but not with the truth and the understanding. Now let's go down to 15. Conversely, 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Just the opposite. Now, if we don't hearken, the blessings are not going to overtake us and come upon us. We're not going to be, it's not going to be good for us. Well, it is good for us because it teaches us a lesson, but we're not going to be comfortable. And the Most High is definitely not going to be proud to show us off. Like a loving father, he'll punish us because he loves us. Like a loving father, he puts us in a timeout or a restriction or even a strap to our backside to give us time to consider the error of our ways, or where we made a bad judgment call or a poor decision, just like a loving father and mother. You know, I know my mom said to me plenty of times, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't punish you. You know, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't punish you. And then that whole time on punishment, I'm supposed to be thinking about why I'm on punishment and how I can correct that behavior. Either it was a one-time bad judgment call or mistake, or it is a pattern of something that I'm doing that I should not be doing. So in closing, Mr. Collins, cultural portion, I just wanted to lay down the foundation for the next discussion series on customs and traditions, and to spark thought on the customs and traditions of our ancestors that either the Most High was pleased with or was disappointed and even angry with. And some of these customs and traditions led us to where we are today. On both sides of the coin, it led us to where we are today. The good and the bad. You know, when we come back into the truth and we start to turn ourselves back to the Most High and start to cherish these customs and these traditions that the Most High commanded us to do, and then forsake those vain customs that we may have picked up along the way through these other nations, you know, that's the good part where we're coming back to the Most High, and now the Most High can start to let these blessings overtake us. And then conversely, on the bad side of that is we pick up these customs and traditions either in rebellion, ignorance, you know, we're doing them and don't even know why we're doing them or where that tradition or that custom came from. We have to be able to recognize which one is which. And we've seen already in a couple of books, particularly Esther, and then we can see again in Esdras and Ezra, you know, customs that we adopted and implemented that the Most High didn't command. But nowhere in the scripture does it say the Most High was not pleased with it. But we know for a fact that if we keep the traditions and the customs that the Most High gave us, that he will be pleased with us, and he will be pleased to let all these blessings overtake us, come upon us and overtake us. Halal Yah, Shabbat Shalom. Saw your hand and back to you.
Okay, shalom. Any questions y'all have for Zaqan before we close out the culture section part? Okay, told Zaqan for the culture. You know, that's like a mini Hebrew language class. You know, when everybody came into this walk, the first thing that was instilled to us was Deuteronomy chapter 28. And I know a lot of us on this line, when we first came into this walk, coming into the light, coming to the truth, that particular book and chapter was given to us. And we start to see in today, our daily life, the prophecy of Deuteronomy chapter 28, you know, with the curses, you know. Some of them blessings the Most High say in the beginning, I could say some of them blessings we still didn't see in today's time because of the disobedience and stubbornness and stiff neck of our Israel today. due to our culture getting taken away from us, and then instill in the culture of the adversary, other nations. You know. So Toda, yeah, for bringing it out, Zaqan. If there's any questions for Zaqan, I'm gonna turn it over to Don Kanakaya.
Slika,
Oh, go ahead, Iman. Go ahead,
Coach
Iman.
Anastasia has her hand up.
Akuta Eviel, you got the floor.
I'm sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay, Toda Akuta. Okay, Don Kanakaya, I turn it over to you for your 2-minute warning.